What is up guys, Groge Gaming here. Welcome back to another Clash Royale video. In today's video we are going to be going over a very solid 12-win graveyard deck for Grand Challenges and also Classic Challenge 2. And yes, I did get 12 wins with the graveyard, and here it is, obviously, just so you can see that I did get the 12 wins with it. There it is, there is the deck. So this is a pretty crazy deck. Let's just hop into the battle decks. So we've got the Mega Knight, we've got the Knight, we've got the Mega Minion, we've got the Bat, the Furnace, the Graveyard, the Poison, and the Arrows. So it's not really something that I've ever really seen before, but a friend of mine, Mobsy from Firing Range, in one of the UK clans, showed it to me, and it is just so strong. And the point of this deck really is to kind of slow roll your opponents, not really commit too much elixir to begin with, counter attack. Also, the Furnace in there is really good for pressuring, so if you just want to sit back and put pressure on the opponent, you just drop a Furnace, and then that'll force them to play cards which you can then counter effectively and go on to a counter attack. So you've got the Mega Knight, which you want to save unless you get a good elixir kind of trade for it. So if they drop a Hog Rider, then you want to use the Mega Knight. You can also use the Furnace to pull Hogs. And also you've got this Knight, which can do decent little pushes with the Graveyard. You kind of want to save the Graveyard until you find a good opportunity. Double Elixir is where this deck really shines, because you can get those big pushes going. For example, if you know it's safe to drop a Mega Knight in the back, for example, if they don't have a Hog Rider, if they're playing bait, then you can drop a Mega Knight in the back, and then you can gradually build up that Elixir in the push. You can use the Bats to distract the Inferno Tower, and then you can go for a Graveyard Poison push, which is just super strong, because the Mega Knight puts so much pressure on the opponents and they can't deal with it. The Mega Knight is a really solid kind of DPS card. Deals with air troops, deals with ground troops really solidly. The Knight kind of provides that stability against bandits. All that kind of stuff, can take out battle rams fairly well. The Bats do a pretty solid job on anything. They can get zapped away, but that doesn't matter at all. You've got the Furnace, obviously as I said before, that pressures opponents and also kind of needs to be zapped and dealt with in the same manner as Bats, so that works out. The Poison obviously works really well with the Graveyard because it denies the defensive area. And then you got the Arrows in there to clean up any minions, Goblin Barrels, kind of swarmy stuff. If they do have a Goblin Barrel, you can save it. You can save the Arrows for the Goblin Barrel, but also you can throw the Mega Knight down on the barrel and counter push from there, because that essentially means that your Mega Knight costs 4 elixir, if you get what I mean. But anyway, what I am going to do is go over a couple of replays. So what we've got is a 3 Musketeer Bandit deck, which is really strong in this meta, obviously. And then he's coming up against my deck, which is just, well, it's not my deck, it's Mobsy's deck. He made it up from scratch, by the way, so this is just completely his own deck. Wasted a bit of elixir here, but you always want to poison those pumps. Those can be really pesky. And then we're going to pressure with the Furnace, and that will cause him to spend elixir where he doesn't really want to. So as you can see, he's going to drop the Bandit down, and then that's pretty much wasted because that's not really what he wanted to drop down. And then the Knight is going to effectively take that out. And he doesn't know that I've got the Mega Knight yet, so I can easily take out his right side with that. So I think that's what I go ahead and do. So I dropped the Mega Minion for that left side. Probably should have dropped it a bit higher, but look at this trade on the right. You get the Mega Knight, which hardly gets damaged at all. And he actually does a good job in it, but it does force him to spend a lot of elixir. We take a bit of damage on that side, but we've got a decent elixir lead now. The Mega Knight needs to be dealt with. The Mega Knight, the Mega Minion. I don't think he does. No. So obviously I've kind of leveled up the damage and leveled up the elixir too, so that's fine. And now I know that he's got 3 Musketeers. I can pretty much squish them with my Mega Knight, and then the Knight can deal with the Bandit. So as you can see here, I am getting ready for a push. And I want to punish because he's just dropped 6 elixir on an elixir collector. So this was decent. We got the kind of decent value, but we also got a lot of damage too. So that pump goes down, and we've dealt a crazy amount of damage without him gaining an elixir lead. So this deck can definitely punish these 3 Musketeer decks, because once they've dropped that pump, pretty much all they're going to have for the graveyard is goblins, minions, that kind of thing, so it's not great. Obviously the bandit did get a dash there, but we managed to defend it pretty well. The arrows are so good in this deck because people think that once you have the poison you're going to have a zap or a log, but then you've got the arrows to just absolutely destroy them. And here I'm fine to sit back, let my furnace just completely annoy this guy while I poison away that tower, getting it down into a decent range there. And I'm fine with dropping the Mega Knight in the back. That is a perfectly fine move to make because there's no way he's going to be able to protect those two Musketeers well enough. That Mega Knight is going to absolutely destroy them. So we got some decent value from the arrows actually. We took out the Musketeer, the Bandit a little bit, so pretty good. And I'm not worried about that right side that much, but I am going to defend it a little bit. And as you can see, he spent most of his elixir in that left lane with the 3 Musketeers. So we're just going to get this push going. Throw in the arrows because I knew he would have something. And then I think that's pretty much good game. No, so he did an okay job. Now we're into poison range because we got a couple of extra shots. An IBM. And this was fairly close. No, he did an okay job. And he's saying good luck. But yeah. So this deck is pretty crazy, guys. If you're having trouble with this, the double hut expo deck, just use this. Let's just skip through this at 2x speed. Also, I forgot to mention the new balance changes are out, and the graveyard is getting a buff. I think it's getting a smaller radius and less random spawnage. So all the skeletons should kind of clump up on the tower a bit quicker. Which should be pretty good. I think it's kind of a buff. So I'm thinking this deck is going to be stronger. Obviously, as you can see, the Mega Knight just absolutely tanks that Expo. Look at it go. A log as well, and it still hits the Expo. So we're doing really good. We've got the elixir lead. So now we know we can get a push going. Because I knew that what deck it was, obviously. And that he doesn't really have much to deal with the graveyard. So check it out. Great poison value. And just great value all round. Great damage. The idea of his deck is to build up, to kind of take the elixir lead through the huts, and then get the expo down when you're low on elixir. So here he kind of caught me off guard, but I still, because it was double elixir, I still managed to get the Mega Knight down. And as you can see, not really that worried. He does a pretty good job of getting a bit of damage, but again, I'm back to the Mega Knight. He's not able to get through. You've got the Knight, the Mega Knight, the Furnace, everything to tank against that Expo. So this deck will absolutely kill it. Okay, here is that really, really strong Hog Mega Knight deck, which some guy finished #1 in the world with, I think. So it kills Hog Rider because of the Mega Knight and the Furnace. There's just no way the Hog can get through. And to be honest, he doesn't have a lot to deal with graveyard. People just will not be expecting it. Perhaps with this new balance change, they may be expecting it, but definitely give this deck a go. To be honest here, I probably should have just gone for Knight. It probably would have reduced all damage, but it's whatever. So again, as I said, Furnace really is just a pressure card. And his Hog Rider just gets absolutely demolished, which is just great. So Knight, chugging away on that Mega Knight, going to go down pretty easily. Nothing to worry about at this point. I know which deck he has, so just going to keep up the pressure, and we're going to keep stopping those Hog Riders. He's going to keep trying to get through, and there is just no way. So at this point, I'll go for a graveyard because he spent so much elixir on that Mega Knight, and after he just pushed as well. So that got some decent damage. So you can pretty much cycle as quick as them and get back to the Mega Knight every time they have the Hog. He's at an elixir disadvantage, so I'm able to get the full push going with the poison in there. Great value, and there's nothing he can do to actually get through, so that's a really, really solid matchup for this deck. Also, I just want to point out that we have a new clan setup in the elliptic family. So this one is called BMG Cosmic, and we're going to be putting it at around 2,800 to 3,000 trophies. So it kind of bridges the gap between Galactic and Atomic. So if you are kind of towards 1,000 to 2,500 trophies, then you want to join Galactic. So it's BMG Galactic. And then if you are kind of around 3,000, 2,800, then you want to join this one, BMG Cosmic. And then if you're a bit higher, 3,600-ish, then you can join BMG Atomic. And then if you are around 4,300 plus, you can join the main clan, BMG Elliptic, which is where I usually am. So yeah, go ahead and help me out with this clan, guys. We do need some help. That would be awesome. What we're going to do is just play a live game with this deck. See if I can point out some more tips for you guys. Pretty nice starting hand. I can do whatever I want at this point. So I am going to wait a second and then probably go for a furnace. So we're going to go for a furnace in this lane. That was probably a bit high, but it will pull a Hog Rider over. We'll just go ahead with the poison, because then that will force him to play something else to defend the furnace, and that's what we want. The furnace can get some really good value. Simple as that, guys. Arrows in there. It looks like he's going to be playing bait. I don't know whether it's going to be the Tornado one or the Inferno Tower one. We will see. Again, the furnace is going to do its job very nicely. So we are going to drop a knight in the back, and then we will pressure again. We'll go into this lane with the furnace. I think that knight is just going to die. We're just going to let that go. I'm not too worried. He's not tanking for the barrel, so I'm not overly worried. And that furnace is actually going to kill the princess, which is awesome. So I think at this point, what we want to do is get a bit of a push going. And then throw in the arrows. And that Mega Minion is going to be annoying to deal with for him. So a decent little bit of damage. Nothing to worry about at this point. Here we go. So the Mega Knight comes down. I think he will have an Inferno Tower, so I'll probably have to get the bats going up the middle. Let's see what he's got to deal with that. He's going to try... So that was a complete fail. He tried to pull it towards the King Tower, and the Mega Knight is just so heavy. No, I'm joking. He just didn't do it right. So at this point, we are in a good situation to actually get a pretty juicy graveyard push going. He's given us the poison value on the tower and the princess, so we're always going to do that. The princess can be annoying, so you just want to get rid of it, really. So Mega Knight in the back. That's going to kind of stop him from coming down this lane. Always going to rocket it. So we're going to get a furnace going. That doesn't really do too much to the Mega Knight. So here we go. Here comes the big push. And we are going to get a preemptive poison down, because I feel like he's going to want to play the Goblin Gang. It denies him from doing that, and we're going to get the damage. It does get the... Yep, there you go. So it does get the Goblin Gang. And simple as that, guys. We are going to take the win. I pretty much saved the arrows for the barrel. I didn't need to at all times because of the Mega Knight, but you want to most of the time. I want to keep it fairly short today, not quite as long as usual, so that's going to do it. Definitely give this deck a go, guys. Shout out to Mobsy for showing it to me. Just kind of remember what I've said. The graveyard is going to get a buff, I think, so that should be even better. Don't go too aggressive, kind of counter-attack. Use the Mega Knight to kill Hog Riders and get decent elixir trades. And then you're going to be at an elixir advantage, at which point you can then throw down the graveyard and the poison. I would probably say wait until double elixir to do this whole push, because that's a fair amount of elixir in itself. So counter-attack in double elixir, throw down the graveyard, and then the poison if you do get the value. Or you can go preemptive if you know they've got a minion horde or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty solid overall. You want to just set up your furnace, set up the defense first, and then go on the attack. But yeah, let me know how you get on with this deck. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, then leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.